Hello again, everyone. I'm Gary Gonzo. Welcome to Velocity Online Racing's coverage of Round 1 of Season 12 of the Signature Series, the INDYCAR iRacing Championship Series. Saying a lot of series here, but that's just what it is. Today, as we come to you from Homestead, Miami Speedway for the Homestead Miami 225, which is being sponsored by ALZHEIME'S Awareness. Joining me in the booths, you can see and read him on jalopnik.com as a regular participant in the INDYCAR Oval Series. Yeah, he was my broadcast partner before on the Dark Horse and Revolution INDYCAR League, so we've worked together before. We should have a little bit of chemistry. Now, I don't know how much, but a little bit at least. Please welcome noted podcaster and motorsports journalist Ryan Eric King. Ryan, as we also like to say on the start of seasons, hope springs eternal. Even the Chicago Cubs are in first place at the start of the season, so everyone's in first place. You go into, and this is going to be a very long season, and they've also upped the race distances a little bit longer here for this season of VOR. What have you been looking for in a season opener to start out strong?
It's all about finding a rhythm, getting into a groove. It is a long season, and this is a long race. You can't win it all on the first lap. You just get comfortable, find your pace, and the points will come.
Well, we're watching action on the track right now as times are being set. Doshenko is on the pole right now with a provisional speed of 206.5. Andreas Eich also right behind him with a 206.3. And Matthias Strauss at the 206.1. Those are the only three cars in the 206 category, as more cars are continuing to check in with speeds. A minute 15 left to play here. The rules set for today: 5 sets of tires, 1 in the car, 4 in the pits, 85% fuel capacity, which is approximately 15.7 gallons. The INDYCAR wave around the rule is being enforced. There are no green-white checkers because this is INDYCAR. The track is 1.5 miles long. The race is 150 laps for 225 race miles. Pit road speed limit is 50 miles an hour. That should be everything you need to know. Specifically, this is the INDYCAR oval configuration of Homestead, so that means they will be pitting off of turn 3 onto the pit road down there at the bottom, which will always make everybody coming on the pit road, especially during green flag pit stops, very interesting.
Yeah, it should be interesting. It is definitely something that a lot of people who are used to the official series won't be used to, because the stints are just a bit longer.
So don't worry about the numbers. I see some people in chat saying their number's not right. Don't worry about it. It might be an issue with the overlay. It could be pulling from your iRacing number and versus what the league number is. If not, we'll just have to get that fixed. No big deal. It's not going to impact anything. You just get to follow a different number during the race when you replay the race back. Well, here we go. We're getting ready to load in here for the race. And let's get tonight's starting lineup in here. See, that's what I was told. Go to results after qualifications, but no, that's not what does it. So that doesn't work. So we'll have to do the grid, the small grid, like I've been telling that we have to always do here. So let's get the music. Zico with the pole, 206.5. Ike right next to him, 206.3. Strauss, 206.1. The Murph is qualified fourth there with a 205.9. Lovern, a good qualification effort for him, 205.8. Wade, 205.7. Cameron Brestain, have not seen him for a while. Welcome back, Cameron. 205.5. Fields, 205.2. O'Sullivan, got a little ways to go. Back in ninth at a 205 flat. And Meadows starting off and as the start of the 204 bracket in P10. Bonnie and Orman make up row 6. Christensen and Kernow making up row 7. Forsyth and Donskoy making up row 8. Ince and Kraus making up row 9. And back in row 10, Altena and Thayer. Julian's got a bit of a hole that he's dug himself into there. And back in row 11, we have Evans and Rizza. And row 12, Van Velde and Kinder, rounding out your 24-car field. A pretty healthy start to the season here for this 12th season of VOR. We're just moments away from going green. Thank you, everybody, for joining and making the switch over from kind of the previous home of VOR. All the future races for the league will be here on their own channel. In-house production. And we are green underway for Season 12 of the INDYCAR Series Championship.
Oh, we got a car loose.
No, it's taking out 2 cars. Oh. Contact with 2 cars. That is Sheridan Wade. And we are still green, I believe.
Yeah, we are.
There's a second car involved. Nate Fields was also in contact there. Bit of a 4-car breakaway at the front. It's Doshenko, Ike, Strauss, and Murphy. Here comes Ike to the inside for the position. Interesting enough, Ike is, I've known Ike as a member of the Team Talent. There's Doshenko back to the front there. But if you go to the IndyCar Discord community, he is a part of Powerslide Motorsports now. I did not see that press release. And Mark Murphy back and forth, kind of doing the blinking. Mark, and a new paint job for IAR. That is a slick-looking, well, if it stays on the screen, there you go. Slick-looking paint job right there. I love it.
Yeah, it seems like with that car getting loose very early on, got the field strung out real early here.
Bit of a delayed start today. That's getting into things here. Don't worry, a long ways to go. Again, everybody, thanks for joining. Best thing to do is, if you have not done so already, is like the video and also subscribe to the VOR channel. Ring the bell so I'll miss out on future VOR races, including the DW12 Series and the IR05 Champ Car Series, which will be starting later next month. But the Iconic Series, which is the DW12 Series, that has had their first race yesterday. That was won by Raphael Eckert. Oh, Edson Santos, excuse me. Eckert is his teammate, right? Edson Santos. He won that race. So let's kind of go through the field, check out the closer battles happening at the moment. Good battle back at 7th is kind of brewing. There's a pass right behind him for position between Jesper Orman and Craig Forsyth and Alexander Bonney. Forsyth doing his typical start deep in the field and move forward approach. He is up 5 spots. Jesper Orman up 3. Yaroslav Donskoy up 8. Your big gator is Chin Van Velde. Chin is back there up 10 spots to 13th. Wade and Fields showing in the pits for incidents and repairs. Today's race is sponsored by, Chin Van Velde getting a little loose off of corner 4 there. I see a little twitch in the car. Let's give you the weather information too, real quick. There you see track temp is up there, 115 degrees. Going to make these guys a little squirrely on corner exit if you have a little too much weight jacker in them, isn't it?
Yeah, we've seen it already with the exit of turn 2 on the first lap, where if you really push these cars a bit too much in the corner, it'll break loose on you, and you really have to swing the wheel the other way to keep it under you.
And there is Julian on the high side with his teammate. See, his teammate will give the position. No, he just slides right up in front of him. Wow, I don't think Julian was really expecting that. Does a crossover. Julian to the bottom. Now, Julian wearing the number 11, but it's number 91 in the overlay. So, again, some stuff in the overlay going on here. This overlay is incredibly, probably one of the most complex overlays that I've ever seen. So, the fact that it's on the screen, that's the important thing. It's on the screen. 3-car battle here between Meadows, Van Velde, and Altena. Julian trying to follow Meadows through down the front stretch. He's in the draft. Chin Van Velde down low. This is a battle for 13th, ultimately going to go 3 wide off of corner number 2. Chin slides in front of Meadows. Meadows, I don't think, like that one very much. He's going to get back behind Julian, trying to follow Julian on through. This is the biggest battle on the racetrack right now, as these cars are really starting to get separated. And Van Velde to the inside. Doesn't make contact, but this is going to bring out a caution. No, it doesn't.
No caution.
But he rejoins. Very good. But now Ike's going to roll up on this. And there is Chin, that little dot there at the very far end of the straightaway. There he is, right there. But today's race is sponsored by the ALZHEIME'S Association. And there's the caution.
Because we have a car hard into the inside wall.
And that is Dolshenko, one of the leaders.
Yeah, seemingly got loose on the exit of 4, and all too familiar, for those familiar with the Indianapolis 500, you see on the exit of 2. Car got loose, snap back the other way.
Yeah, let's try to get that... my camera, it keeps wanting to go to the other green car. There we go. Dolshenko might have gone back a little bit too far. We'll just watch him here, as everyone, I'm sure, is going to come to pit road. And right now, just seeing right behind us at this battle, because Dolshenko, I believe, was in second. Here he comes down into 3 and 4. And so most of the incidents so far have been on corner exit. And he, right there, you start seeing the back end coming around. Catches it. Oh, wow, he caught it. Oh, and Strauss almost gets into him. Strauss may have hit him, actually. but he caught the car, and then he nosed it directly into the turn 4 wall and then bounced across the track. Ike off pit road first. Strauss second. Don't know what type of damage he might have, if anything. Liam O'Sullivan is now third. Jarnoslav Donskoy fourth. Mark Murphy is fifth. Jesper Orman, where we're just watching Jesper Orman getting a run on Mark right there before the caution fell. Was able to pull that one off. Gary Lovern is now moving to sixth. We'll reset the field here momentarily. Brandon Thayer is also shown on pit road as disconnected now, so we're down 4 cars already in the first 20 laps. While we're under caution, let's bring up the schedule. You saw it in the intro. And there it is. Lights are still on in the pace car, so we got a little time to read this. We're going to be starting off here at Homestead, Miami, of course. The next 3 weeks, which will be the next 3 races, actually, Texas, Road America, and Iowa. If you remember David Kreutz from FTN, he will be bringing you those races while I'll be broadcasting the IIS those particular weeks. Then myself and Ryan will return back for August 3rd for Gateway, then the Indy GP, a full 500-mile Indianapolis race in September. As if we haven't had enough of those races here recently, Ryan.
maybe 2-month break. It'll all be new again.
Right, exactly. Lights. Let's see if the lights are out on the pace car yet. I think they are, actually. And Nashville, then Laguna Seca, Pocono, Kentucky, Phoenix, Sonoma, and Las Wages to end the season all the way in December. So this is a big 6-month run for the series. Not much in the past, though. Julian's like to schedule back to back, but he's kind of spread it out and really made it a very comfortable schedule. A couple of races a month in most cases. 3, sometimes there'll be 3 races a month, but definitely a lot of off time for people. So if you're looking for a relaxed schedule IR18 league, be sure to check VOR. All of the VOR information for the Discord, the league, and everything is in the description. And join the Discord, join the league. Here we go, getting ready to go back to green as we bring the schedule off the screen here.
Green flag.
And we're back to green as Ike is your leader. Ike, Strauss, O'Sullivan, Donskoy, and Murphy, your top 5. We're going to see Jesper getting really close to the backside of Lovern here, going to look down low. I don't know if I told you, but Lovern has actually changed the color of his car because of I put the fear of the green car into him because he was formerly in a green car, and he's changed his car to red.
Superstitions. It does it to people.
Murph on the inside of Donskoy going into 3. Jesper getting around Lovern. 2 of the IAR cars working their way up into the top 5 here. Ike is with Power Slide as far as at least the signings are concerned, I've been told. Strauss with Team Watson Racing. Liam O'Sullivan with Altena Autosports. New acquisition for them. Donskoy is an independent, I believe. Murph, he's with IAR. Orman with IAR. Lovern with AA. Oh, Donskoy up in the wall on corner exit there of 4. Craig Forsyth back in 8th. He's up 7 spots now. He's with 4D Racing. 4D Racewear. Here's Cameron Bostaine, former competitor here in the series. Good to see him back. I believe he's independent. I could be wrong. But we've seen him. Now we see Team Watson Racing setups on the side, so maybe he's been absorbed by the monster known as Team Watson there. Alexander Bonney back in 10th. Good run for him. He's up a spot. Julian looking to the high side of Bonney. Julian up 8 spots. Homestead here is progressively banked. It is the bottom line, which a lot of these cars like to run, is not as banked as it is up high. So you'll see a lot of cars start migrating up to the higher banking to help their cars rotate a little bit more. And we see Julian get around Alexander Bonney, move Julian up to 10th, now setting sights on Cameron Bostaine. Andreas Ike is your leader, but he's getting threatened by Liam O'Sullivan to the inside. Liam O'Sullivan to the inside and 1 down on the lower banking. Going to make his way around and move O'Sullivan in the AA car up to P1. Also, we see...
I tend to find like that sweet spot is typically 1 groove up, but if the conditions are cool enough or your tires are fresh enough, you could run it right up against the bottom line.
And now we're watching a battle between Jesper Orman and Murphy, the battle between teammates. Strauss back to 5th. So Strauss has been passed by everybody now that he started 2nd. I wonder if he might have some type of underlying damage. Donskoy trying to demolish the turn 2 wall. Keeps it off there, but it got real close. Craig Forsyth looking on the underside of Donskoy here, going into 3 and 4. Let's ride along with Forsyth, who is streaming his races right now. Just want to say hi to all those guys after the fact. Getting a good run in the center of the corner there for Craig Forsyth, as Donskoy having a hard time up top. Let's see if he gets another run on him here in the center of the corner. Watch this. Not so much this time. Oh, Netcode thought that Forsyth smacked the wall a little bit there. There is Julian out the rear. Trying to find the rear. They don't have a good rear camera on this camera set. That's about as best I can do right there. Julian getting a run. Julian to the inside of Craig. Greg's going to get dirty air. Julian's going to get dirty air. Both of them do a little bit of a twitch. Meadows around Bostaine for P10. A little bit further back, and they're still battling. That's not quite cleared out yet. Meadows in that Penske throwback. Well, actually, it's not really a Penske throwback. It's an active Penske livery, I believe.
Yeah.
So we're getting into 33 of 150. We're now 15 laps into this stint. 17 is where we ended up going under caution last time. So while we're here, let's talk about the news. We have our noted journalist in the box here. So the biggest news of the week is the new INDYCAR TV contract and the new schedule coming out for 2025. What do you want to talk about first?
Well,
So let's be like Cody Rhodes. So, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, there are positives and there are negatives. Negative, the season's gonna be over before September. Positive, every single race will be on network television. Which, it's a very mixed bag. It is, it's an improvement over the current situation with NBC. But, as with anything, people don't like change. Because, as it stands right now, there'll likely be a new look broadcast booth next year for INDYCAR on
Caution!
Fox because
Caution! Sorry, caution! Somewhere on the racetrack. Not sure exactly where.
Let me take a quick glance at the field.
And again, right at about the same mark it happened last time. I'm not sure where we got the. We have a spin out, and then it just an innocent spinner.
Yeah, I see smoke, but I don't see the fire. So, yep, it was, yeah, Jordan Curnow.
Okay. Let's take a look here. Jordan Curnow, and let's go back in replay here. Not sure how far back we have to go. Okay, there he is. Okay, off of 4, so here it is. Much in the same way. Yeah, there it is. Corner loose. Instead of getting it caught, like, well, he catches it this time, but it's too long gone by this point. Instead of what happened to Doshenko, he just goes to the inside, doesn't touch the wall. Very lucky there, but right in front of the flag stand. Not much of a choice there. Have to throw the caution, especially with the cars still moving in front of Kern. Oh, okay. So he actually came to a stop on the race course, and that's what brought out the caution, actually. So if he stayed down low and was able to manage to turn it around, it probably maybe not a caution, but because he came out in the race course and stopped in the racing line, that's what brought out the caution, which is a fair caution call, in my opinion. So that is what brings us back to pit road for everybody again. But not for everybody. Jordan Evans is staying out. Andreas Ike coming as up pit road.
Might be worth the track position. You don't know when the next caution might come out.
Yeah, a couple stayed out. So let's go back to the schedule, and you talked about kind of that. There's going to be a new look, but let's talk about the teams first of all. So the teams are going to get a bigger piece of the pie, so to speak, with this money, correct?
That has not been confirmed. It's been hinted at.
Okay.
And recent events, especially with the rumors about what each network was offering, I see it when I believe it, because a lot of people say a lot of things, and a lot of people did not want the rights to go to Fox, and were willing to say a lot of things to sway opinions.
Right.
But inherently, the teams will see more money, because if every race is on network TV, then the audiences are larger, and it's something the teams could pitch to potential sponsors. For the fans, per se, it is going to be a new look in the commentary booth. Lee Diffie is an NBC employee. He won't be moving over to Fox, though a lot of people in the know say that Fox is very interested in retaining Hinchcliffe and Townsend Bell. Will that happen? Have to wait and see. Network executives like to put their own stamp on sports broadcasts when they get the rights.
Right. Lights are out on the pace car, going green next time by. Everyone down pit row except for Jordan Evans. Evans is going to stay out. A little bit of a gamble for the track position, as you mentioned. Ike, O'Sullivan, Orman, Murphy round out the top 5, or top 5 on the racetrack. But your top 5 in strategy now is Ike, Sullivan, Orman, Murphy, and Strauss. Gary Lovren having a great race. He's in 7th spot, 6th on the strategy now. Before we go green, though, the long off season, though, that should be of benefit to the teams in order for more time to go find sponsorship, and to I guess you don't have to. I'm not sure how crew members are paid in terms of those that go to the track, but you don't have to pay them as long into the season as they normally would. So hopefully the more tighter season will tighten up spending, maybe. That's what I'm thinking. But certainly the off season, getting ready to go green here, pace car off. Certainly the off season will give more time to the teams to do development, to do testing, and even though the off-season testing is really league regulated, because we're back green underway. Ike and Orman now, the big battle going into 1 and 2. But the extra time in the off-season certainly might help the teams in terms of trying to find those sponsors, because they always seem to run out of time before the season starts. It's like, well, I just never really had time to find that sponsor. Now they have a little extra time.
Yeah, they have a little extra time to get their to get everything in order for next year. And I think it'll also do well for staff retention. One thing. Oh, big look. Can he make this move stick?
I think that's the difference between new tires and old tires, but Evans is going to stay up high, give it a battle. Evans up 20 spots, started in the back. Now he's just trying to stay high and off the wall as the rest of the leaders that stopped on pit road. Liam, a little bit of a reactionary move on Orman there, but I don't think that necessarily was blocking. I do think that they just both happened to yank on the steering wheel at the same time. Here's Evans to the inside of Ike, trying to get a good look. He's going to get a run in the middle of the corner, but the tire, oh, there it is, getting a good run on the bottom side of the racetrack, down low. Orman wants to send a 3 wide at some point. So I thought the teams were going to get a bigger chunk of the pie, possibly. So with this extra money, what does it allow IndyCar to do? Is it going to help with them with the new, and 3 wide a little bit further in the back with Strauss? Take a look at that battle right there. Is it going to help them with the development of a new car, possibly? Because we have been rocking the DW12 for quite a while. And we've been really rocking the IR18 aero kit for a while. Are we talking about, will this money help look at a new car down the road? Or, I mean, what can this new money do that we weren't getting from NBC before?
I'd say it's more of stabilizing the ship more than anything else, because with the pandemic and the inflation that came with it and the development of this new hybrid unit, the cost of a full season entry has actually gone up 25%.
Oof.
And the teams were struggling to find the funds to run full time. And it's sort of kind of finding that balance, finding that stability to think about what's next.
Evans back to 5th now, right in front of Donskoy. Gonna go 3 wide down the backstretch with Strauss. So the new tires not paying off. What really Evans wants now is a quick caution, and that will put him on a different strategy than everyone else. He's on a different strategy than everyone else, but he really needs to get to pit road, because he only has about another half a tank left in that car.
I don't think he's going to be able to stop this sinking.
And we'll take a look at Evans, a 196.4, but everyone else around him much, much faster. But the benefit of all the races being on what I call terrestrial TV, network TV, one of the big four, that should help with sponsors, and I think that might cause. I mean, you could tell me, is that a better shot at holding on to Honda then?
Yeah, it's a better shot at holding on with Honda, because hopefully the idea is to average 1 million viewers every single race, and they're in the best position to do so, especially with the incredible run out after the 500 next year, because it's Detroit the next week, then 1 week off, and then they come back for 6 races in 5 weeks on network TV.
What about the big open weeks that we have earlier in the schedule? There was talk by Mark Miles during Indy 500 time, during several of the press conferences he had, and one of the things he said, expect the 2026 schedule to be more quote-unquote impactful. Do we expect the impactful parts of the schedule to... Oh, there's contact between Kinder and Bonnie. And we got cars cartwheeling, Cameron Bustane, cartwheeling down the front stretch. Speaking of impactful...
And his car finally comes to a rest.
And it's Bonnie, kind of goes up into Kinder. And Cameron Bustane just... Whoa, hang on, whoa! Cameron, make sure you track all that airtime. You could put that in your logbook if you're a pilot. As he bounces into pit road, hopefully nobody on pit road. Who's pit stalled as he and almost a Julian's. But Cameron, well, watch this. Cameron just has no place to go. Chin Van Velde's in this as well. It just kept going and go. It's like the Energizer Bunny of cartwheels.
It's kept landing on the tires.
Yeah, I'm not sure whose pit stall that ends up, but he's down on pit road there. Cameron Bustane, wow, what a ride. And we're back to caution, and that's really going to help out Evans, who really needed to stop on pit road. And looks like Kraus is, let's see, we got coming down pit road here. Seb Kinder coming down pit road. Maybe get some work looked at. Chin Van Velde also getting some work looked at on his car. But that allows Jordan Evans to come down pit road, and now he's on a slightly different... Well, now he's on the same strategy as everyone else again. So we kind of reset the field once more. Hate it when that happens. Yes, sir. Big wrecks like that are tough to swallow. It's especially the innocent kind of guys that kind of get caught up in it. But we'll reset the field here momentarily. And there is Dan Inch, and I want to bring attention to ALZ.org. The Alzheimer's Association is our sponsor of today's race, and you can go to ALZ. Don't go to ALS, like I said in the DW12 race. Although that is an organization that will take your donations as well. But you want to go to ALZ.org. That is for Alzheimer's and Alzheimer's research and Alzheimer's support. So you want to go there, give a donation, and they will help. Your money goes toward not only for Alzheimer research, but also patient care and for support of caregivers. As someone that has elderly parents themselves, being a caregiver is a big job, and it is not an easy job. and especially with a elderly parent that might be suffering from Alzheimer's. So check them out and give them a donation. I believe you can write it off on your taxes and everything, and check them out at alz.org. And we want to thank them for sponsoring today's race. Dan Inch is staying out. He is now your leader. Liam O'Sullivan is on second now. He is, for some reason, it looks like Ike did not have a good pit stop. Not sure exactly what happened. Maybe he missed his spot and had to roll back into it, but he is back to 7th now. Jesper Orman now up to 3rd. Right with Julian Altena up 15 spots for Julian. Pretty typical race for him. And then right behind him, Mark Murphy in that really good looking IAR car. I told him the red, white, and blue look is a good look on that that particular livery, and he is rocking it really well. Not sure about the white rims there, but that might be a signature look for him. A little less of what my preference is. Any count on the full cartwheels? Well, we're a little bit farther into the race now. I can't cue that up as easy, but there were maybe someone can go back and take a look and give us an idea of how many cartwheels that was, and then hit the live button, and I'll return you back to the live feed here, and you can tell us. Dan Inch going to bring the field back to green, I believe. Dan, 16 laps on this current stint. Saw a very similar strategy tried down by Evans the last stint. Here we go, and not a great start, and Liam kind of hesitates to go to the inside now. Liam's going to pull to the inside, get the position. Inch stays high and allowing 2 teammates and a competitor on through. Now he's up to speed, goes to the inside. Donskoy did not like that. He was going to try to get a pass on Murph, but he has to follow Murph on through and reset that pass up for the front stretch. But Inch at the restart now already back down into 6th spot. Orman is now your leader, getting around Liam O'Sullivan, missed the pass for that lead. So anyways, back for the impactful, we just saw the impactful incident. Back to the impactful schedule. I mean, what could he possibly be talking about when he's talking about impactful scheduling?
So he teased it last year for the 2025 schedule. Mark Miles has been hinting that IndyCar is aiming at having a new marquee event in an American city or major American market, and it's seemingly that promise has been pushed back from 25 to 26, which is why, like, I hate when IndyCar does this, when they tease something new and exciting and it's nowhere near close to happening. Like, just keep your lips sealed until you have something signed, please.
Well, I think the obvious that most fans will look at on the schedule, if traditionalists of IndyCar, the less traditionalists are like, go ahead and add another street course race. I got to tell you, the street course races, at the new ones for Detroit, and the new one that was formerly at Nashville, they really weren't that good. They really, really weren't that good. If you're going to have a good street race, I mean, you need to have a good course, and you need to have and everything that goes along with a good street race. And that's why when you look at street races, the king of street races or the queen of street races, depending on how you want to look at it, is Long Beach. And maybe to a lesser extent, St. Petersburg. But to put another street course out there for the sake of putting it into a market does nothing for me. Donskoy, geez, all over the inside of Murphy there, getting squirrely. He is way up in that 3rd lane, like right up in that grip strip right against the wall there.
Yeah, and it's like Long Beach is an incredible circuit. St. Petersburg, it has its place on the schedule, and it's sort of become a traditional opener for the IndyCar season now. But it's finding the right venue, because even like Toronto feels cramped nowadays.
That Toronto was, and there's still a question on the future of Toronto. My understanding is, and notice I didn't mention them because I think that that course and that stop still might be of question. But I still think they need to go to Canada. But I think if they go to Canada, it's going to be Montreal and not anywhere else, probably. I'm just guessing, because that circuit on Ile de Notre Dame is a very good circuit. And I think these cars, we've seen them in the sim run there, and I think that they would run there in real world pretty darn well.
Yeah, to me, those are like, Montreal would be a great place to go. Mexico City would be a fantastic place to race.
And their street course, I like how that runs in the middle of an old baseball stadium.
Yeah.
That's great.
And it would be a fantastic venue, even if they want to bring back the old final corner at Mexico, because that section of the course is an oval. So the last corner of the road course is traditionally like in an oval corner.
Yeah, they were talking. Some of the chatter is, well, if they're going to keep the schedule that open at the front part of the season, will we see, maybe go to another warm weather track? A lot of your warm weather tracks aren't necessarily exclusive to road courses, because then we're looking at this track, for instance, Homestead, located, down near Miami, so it's going to have reasonable weather for much of the year. And then we're watching a battle here between Julian and Donskoy for third. And here comes Murphy diving to the inside. He might actually go for two positions. But then that brings also in the discussion of Phoenix. And I'm not sure where else you could put a warm weather oval that hasn't already been knocked down.
Well, I don't know if you've heard recently, but over in Southern California, Willow Springs is up for sale, and they want to sell that track to someone who isn't going to tear down a historic racing venue and put up a housing subdevelopment. That they want Willow Springs to host professional racing for the first time in decades.
Well, Willow Springs is in the sim. Is it not? I think it is.
I think it is, but
we'll type it in real quick. Watching Ike real quick make a move to work his way up into the top three now. Yeah. It's in the sim.
But, Willow Springs hasn't hosted I think they hosted Can-Am once in the 80s, but they haven't hosted the Cup Series since the 50s.
Yeah, it looks like the place could probably stand to use a little work for safety reasons for these Indy cars. But that would be, that'd definitely be a warm weather track. But I think the most everyone wants to see at least a return to a super speedway or two, bring back the Triple Crown, and give another, I think really, and this is where I miss Texas from as well, is that giving everybody a 200 mile per hour race before Indianapolis is not a bad thing.
No. And I think a lot of scheduling decisions is going to come down to how Milwaukee works at the end of this year. Because if Milwaukee works, then it proves that IndyCar could, on paper, go to the same market twice a year, because they go to Milwaukee and Road America twice in the same year. That means they could go I don't know why they consider Chicago like in the same market as Indianapolis, but they do. So they can go to Indianapolis, they can go to Chicagoland, they can go to Detroit, they can go up to Brooklyn, Michigan to Michigan International. It would open a lot of opportunities. But it's all about finding the venues, working with Fox to find the airtime to keep the races on network. And we have a decent tussle for fourth going on right now.
Yeah, we're kind of going through the field, getting a look at everybody in the top 10. We'll go back up to the top 4 here. The battle for 10th right now between Meadows and Christensen, but a big tussle for 4th. Look at this, 3 cars wide. And Gary Lovern is kind of the... let's watch from his point of view. Oh, Murph kind of getting in the wall, I think. Or is that... that's Donskoy, excuse me. Murph's up in second. Montreblanc. Someone's mentioned Montreblanc in chat.
Montreblanc would be interesting.
Yeah, it would be.
I personally like that course. It'd be an interesting discussion with the owner, one Lawrence Stroll. But it'd be I miss the old days of like the later days of the Champ Car World Series, where every summer they had the Canadian Triple Crown, where they have a championship within the championship for the 3 Canadian rounds of the calendar.
Yeah, that was Vancouver, Toronto,
and Edmonton.
Edmonton, okay. I wasn't sure if Toronto, Vancouver happened to coincide with Saint-Air, because Saint-Air would have been close to Montreal. That would have served the Montreal market. Yeah, everyone tends to forget Saint-Air was the first really sub-mile short track that the IndyCars ran in the modern era. Actually, there was I don't think back in the USAC Champ Car era there was any sub 1 mile ovals. Even if it was dirt, it was at least 1 mile.
Yeah, because that was sort of the rule of thumb for shortest place that they felt that IndyCar was appropriate racing at.
And I think that is about 7/8. I have to go back and look at what Saint-Air. I tell you what, I mean, there were some good races there at Saint-Air, some exciting races, and of course also it's notable for where Rick Mears just destroyed his feet.
Yeah. But yeah, Saint-Air it's still technically open, but it is very much in a state of disrepair.
Yeah. And let's just face it, Canada's really not known for oval racing. Watching Gary Lovern reel in this group in front of him. Donskoy and Altena battling out.
Yeah, but one thing that I really like about IndyCar's new TV deal is, besides network presence, just an overall massive presence on television. Practice and qualifying back on television on cable, as well as Indy Next on cable, which I can't remember the last time that Lights was on television.
ESPN?
Yeah, probably the ESPN days.
Yeah, because I know that they had the Freedom 100 was done at on ESPN. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because Fox had announced that not every race, but the majority of the next calendar will be on FS1, because they will no longer have the rights for the Xfinity Series, and they need something to fill that gap in their TV time.
'85 of 150. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I had to park it because of black screens. Pure luck they didn't collect anybody. So, Matthias Strauss. So, yeah, that's... Dude, that's like hours of troubleshooting, too. I mean, you can't really find out why am I getting black screens, right? You just got to really troubleshoot that and find out what's going on. That was my biggest problem with trying to find a good, stable VR platform to play iRacing on, is that so many other platforms I tried, Dotskoy up in the gray again. I could not get out of having, or I could not shake the feeling that I was not as reliable as I wanted to be, and was going to get a black screen on a lot of the Oculus stuff. My best results have been the HP Reverb. That I had a real good luck with. Also, there's issues with every now and then USB devices, and then there was, I guess, a known issue with AMD controllers and AMD chips, and the chipset not always jiving well with USB, multiple USB, and many multiple USB devices. And when you get into sim racing, just about everything you plug in is going to be USB driven. I think the biggest problem that I found, Julian flashing out there he goes, coming back. Was really having a USB hub that was powerful enough to pull everything you needed, and people often were finding like the 35 watt ones were sufficient enough. No, I have a 100 watt one that I had to specifically search out that really does the trick, and I've had much more stability with USB devices. But when you run a lot of USB devices, and let's go back to Jesper Orman as our leader. He's got almost a 2-second lead over Murphy. The two IAR cars are leading the way here. You really got to be selective of all the USB devices that you have plugged in. So let's say you have a lot of RGB stuff, turn that off. Let's say you have, you need the bare minimum to run, right? So you need a keyboard and mouse. That's all you need in terms of the bare minimum for USB devices when you plug them in. Then you start plugging in the devices that you want to use for sim racing. VR, your wheel, your pedals, your button box if you have one, and then just start going to starting with checking it off almost like you're starting an airplane, right? Okay, wheel, check, pedals, check, and you power each one up and make sure everything's stable before moving on to the next one. But yeah, you just kind of winging it in there and hoping that you turn it on and hoping everything works. A lot of people have good luck with that, but others don't, and that's where the black screens occur sometime for people. And I feel your pain because that is a ton of troubleshooting. 93 of 150 here in the books. If you're just joining us, this is Velocity Online Racing's coverage of the VOR INDYCAR Dallara IR18 Championship Series. If you do respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. You can click on the VOR channel here, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so you don't miss out on their next races. All the races in their series in this upcoming season. That includes the iconic DW12 Series, the Champ Car IR05 Series, and the IR18 Dallara IR18 excuse me if I can say it right, the INDYCAR Dallara IR18 Championship. All will be hosted on their channel for this season. If you want to see the rest of these races, make sure to click the bell and so you're reminded. All races this season will be on Fridays and Saturdays. The IR18 exclusively will be on Saturdays for much of the second half of this season, or second half of this year. So check them out. If you want to be part of these seasons, part of these races, part of these series, you could join up by going to the VOR Discord server. Link is in the description, and sign up there. The DW12 series is free. The IR05 series, there is a small entry fee, and the DW12 series is an entry fee as well. And if you're worried about not having the cars, the DW12 is a free car on the service. So you have that right now, and you can join the DW12 series. And their races are at 3 p.m. on Fridays, about twice a month. We had the first race to start the season off yesterday, the 14-race season. And they will race next week at Texas, and that will be here on VOR as well. Well, we are now deep into what we would say we're well past where we had issues for the first two cautions. We are deep into this run, 43 laps for just about everybody, 44 now. I'm thinking we're going to see green flag pit stops this time. Watch me, I just jinxed it.
Yeah, we had a couple front runners already head in. Liam O'Sullivan pitted from 4th, and he came out 12th. So that's the kind of drop we're looking at when you come into pit.
But what type of laps is he turning now? And he went a lap down.
So, let's see. Yeah, on time, his last lap was a 26.5.
We could go to last laps. 2:01.2. I mean, he's by far the fastest car on the racetrack.
Yeah, because that's sort of the gamble of.
And I think Julian might have pitted with him. Yeah, Julian did. So the VOR squad, the Altina Autosports squad, it looks like they've kind of gone through and are splitting strategies at the moment.
Yeah, it's sort of finding the balance between fuel and tires.
Look at this. Look at Liam just underneath these three. Just that's what new tires do for you here.
It's balancing tire life and the fuel stint and making sure that, you count the laps you need to get to the end, but making sure you do it in the fastest way possible, especially with the track temperature being where it is right now.
Yeah, let's bring that up. There you go, track tip 113, so it is not chill out there at all. So Jesper on pit road. Murph's going to take a lap over here. Andreas Eich also going long. Donskoy on pit road. Donskoy in that Team Penske PPG paints livery. That is a Scotty Mack livery, I believe.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go ahead and call it next for next Indy 500. Although I think I think Newgarden absolutely 100% can win 3 in a row. Even more so than when Elio had an opportunity to go 3 in a row. He almost did. He finished second. In fact, Al Sr. won 2 in a row, and I think he finished second in his third 500 or a chance for a third 500. So the three-peat has come close in IndyCar history at Indianapolis, but I think Scotty Mack really just kind of watching him and just how much of an attitude, and I don't mean that as a negative thing. I mean, he is driving with attitude. He is driving with passion. He really, really wants to beat his teammates. I mean, he's kind of driving in regards to his teammates in almost a Formula One type mentality, that he really, really wants to beat his teammates. I can see. I'm kind of catching a little bit of the Gilles de Ferran vibe from him, and coming through after 2 consecutive races. Even though Gilles, though, in one of those races, I believe that was the first one where he finished second to Elio in 2001. In 2002, Elio kind of backed into that win, let's be honest. I'm kind of catching Gilles de Ferran vibes, really, from Scotty Mack. And I think Scotty Mack might be so motivated next year for the 500 that it might be impossible for him not to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's sort of, McLaughlin has been raised in that mentality of you need to beat your teammate, you need to outperform your teammate, like especially in Australian supercars where he was at Dick Johnson Racing, that became DJ RT Penske,
Yeah.
where you're at the front of the field and you need the number one person you have to usually beat is your teammate.
And today, as a matter of fact, Netflix, 100 Days to Indy.
Yep, it is available if you want to go back and relive the road to Indianapolis and the 500.
I wish it's a season-long thing. The stories are so good. The coverage is so good that I wish it was just more than just they make it seem like it to the average viewer that's watching this. So their season ends at Indianapolis. That's it. There's no next race. So that's kind of how I kind of feel about that. I wish they would do the whole season.
Yeah.
And let's take a look at Mark Murphy here in 5th. A lot of pit stops have occurred now. So we're looking at final stops for some of these guys. Some might be cutting it close. O'Sullivan and Julian are probably going to have to stop again. They only stopped 14 laps ago. Jesper went 48 laps and stopped at 102. So he could go the distance now. Here's Meadows and Donskoy for battle for 6th. Yeah, 100 days. Just checking real quick. I mean, it's already on there last season. Yeah, new season in there. So season 1, season 2 of 100 Days to Indy are now on Netflix. So after this, if you have not done so already, you can check it out on Netflix if you have a Netflix subscription. Orman's your leader by 3 seconds, almost 4 seconds now over O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan not really gaining very much in time. O'Sullivan finished on the podium for the DW12 race yesterday. Andreas Eich making his first start in the series. We know him not as a rookie, though. He's going to have the rookie moniker next to his name for the series going forward, for this season at least. But as I was telling Julian, he is no more of a rookie to this as Juan Montoya was to the 2000 Indy 500. I really think, though, if you go back and you want to make the I would put asterisk next to Montoya and Castro Neves, and they're not really rookies, and they were driving what is now considered IndyCar or has been absorbed into the IndyCar history before coming to Indianapolis. I would say the only real rookie that we've seen win since then has been Rossi.
Yeah, and that was I don't want to say we'll never see a rookie win again, but
we're absolutely will see a rookie win, yeah.
It's going to be a long time before we do. Because it feels, especially with the hybrid power units, well, the hybrid units coming in for these engines, the learning curve to do well at Indianapolis is going to be steeper than it ever has been, and you're going to need to be in one of the leading teams that really have a chance now.
Yeah, here's a big battle. 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Actually, this is 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, not 10th. So Meadows, Donskoy, Lovern, Kraus. Good battle. Good battle.
Because I've already noticed it on these cars where they already have it set up in the in-car adjustments to let you know how much push to pass you have left. iRacing subtly preparing for when hybrids come to the ovals.
That is going to be fun.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun. I mean, we have not had push to pass per se on ovals since 2011, and the reason I say per se is that it really wasn't push to pass like it is now. It was in the 2011 cars the last time they used it. It was more of a cheat, and it was like just a slightly higher fuel setting, engine mapping that they could use, and then it would reset back to the lower setting.
And you couldn't, like, it was a higher setting for a reason, because you burned way more fuel, and it was a bit more unstable for the motor to do it.
Yeah.
It's like with the hybrid units, it'll be basically free power. It's just whatever you're drawing from the battery.
And my understanding of the way they have the recharge it is a button, but that's going to impact drag a little bit, right? And then also they can recharge when they come to pit road for braking, right?
Yeah, so basically it'll harvest. It'll be like the original iteration of KERS on the F1 cars.
I liked KERS.
It'll harvest it from the drive shaft. So basically, say engine braking, it'll use that resistance to harvest that energy.
I liked KERS. I really did. I know they don't use it now, and it was a lot of dangers and a lot of added weight to the car with those batteries. But I liked KERS. It was.
Well, it'll be coming back to F1 in 2026.
Now, this battle back here for sixth. I mean, Kraus has nowhere to go, and you hear him backing out of the throttles constantly.
Yeah, trying to find clean air, trying to find a way to get a bit of momentum off corner exit.
Donskoy has been living in that third lane all race long. I mean, if there's a zip code up there, you want to send him a letter, you just need that zip code, and it will find him up there.
I don't know why, but it might be the weather conditions making it a bit, greasy out there. But you can keep up from that top lane, but you can't get the run that you normally would. Say we were running Homestead at night.
I've been told that that in these cars, not so much when you do the stock cars here, and I need to get in here and test this actually. But these cars, the more you run the higher line, the more that it wears the tires. I don't know if that's true. 3 wide down the backstretch as we see Kraus stick his nose in it. He's like, you know what? I've had enough time of following you guys, and I think we should go back and look at that. Let's take a look at that pass. That is Kraus. .125 of 150. Watching this nice pass for position here on the backstretch for Kraus. He decides he got a good run on Meadows, and the bottom was open. And here we go. Very gutsy pass there. The two other guys, I think, actually kind of backed out of it a little bit to let him on by. Kraus had to come up because he was going to have a very shallow turn into the corner and probably was going to wash up a little, and he does a little bit.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Julian's coming down pit road.
Final stop for Julian. Was hoping for a caution, not going to be there. We'll see how he manages to do this. But Jesper Orman is your leader now by 4.5 seconds. He is in traffic. Right in front of him is Dan Inch. Just a reminder, looking at Dan Inch's car. See that ALZ.org sponsorship. Well, we want to thank them for sponsoring today's race, the Alzheimer Awareness 225 here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Go to ALZ.org to make a donation to the Alzheimer's Association, where your money goes towards not only research and patient care, but also support of caregivers. So check them out, ALZ.org. Give your donation today. Want to thank Dan Inch for bringing the awareness to the league and allowing us to have them sponsor today's race. Track cams provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Check them out. Their contact information is in the description on Facebook and Twitter. Get the most out of your sim racing experience with the Whiplash Sim Cams. Official cam provider to VOR and the VOR channel. All right, let's reset the field a little bit here. Got the business out of the way. Want to make sure everyone also does the give the old thumbs up, would you? Subscribe and notify so you miss out on the next race, which is next Friday, 3 p.m. DW12s at Texas. And then the next IR18 race will be here next week, also at Texas. And it'll be brought to you by David Kreutz there at FTN. He'll be here on the VOR channel bringing that to you. He did the IR18 races with me last season. And Jesper finally getting around inch. Ooh. A little bit close to comfort right there for the IAR car. Let's reset the field here as we're getting to the final stages here of the 225 here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Jesper Orman is your leader. He has led 73 of 133, so he's really kind of dominated the second half of this race. Behind him is Mark Murphy, his teammate. He's led a handful of laps today, kind of in the overcut in terms of when his pit strategy kind of overcuts with the leader in front of him. He's been managing to pick up those, so he's going a little bit longer in runs. Fuel savings. Andreas Eich in his first race here in the series. 26 of 134 laps led today. Led him very early. Gary Lovern with a great run in fourth. He's been hanging around that spot all day today. Great run for Gary. Cody Meadows. He is up 5 spots to fifth. Trying to look at maybe getting to fourth here momentarily. Craig Forsyth, he's in 7th, up 8 spots. Matthias Kraus is in 6th. Saw him with that bonsai move to get in that position there. He's in 7th or 6th. 7th is Craig Forsyth. Then a name that we haven't really talked about at all is Rahid Riza. Started, was up 14 spots. Started 22nd. He's in that Formula One throwback. And he is currently 9th spot. 33 laps into his current stint. So he might have to stop for a dash, a splash and dash at the end. Julian Altena right behind him. He's good to go to the end. Julian is now 10th. Okay, so I also should mention Liam O'Sullivan. He is 1 lap down. Craig Forsyth 1 lap down. Riza 1 lap down. Altena 1 lap down. Jaroslav Donskoy also 1 lap down. John Christensen is last car 1 lap down. And then we go into the 2 lap down category starting at 13th with Jordan Evans, excuse me. And then after Evans is Thayer. And that purple VOR livery. I like that. That purple Altena Autosport livery. Purple cars are underused. Always liked Buddy Lazier's car. Dan Inch is 15th. Sheridan Wade down in the standings because of an incident, but still turning laps at 16th. And there's Nate Fields. Nate Fields is still turning laps. Nate Fields in an 18th, 26 laps down. 2 more, and he'll pass Jordan Kernow for 17th spot, but he looks like he's coming to pit road for possibly a scheduled stop to get those extra couple of laps in. And the remainder of the field, Tim Van Velde, Sebastian Kinder, Matthias Strauss, Cameron Bastain, in 22nd, Alexander Bonney, 23rd, and Doshenko in 24th. A lot of those guys were taken out on that big turn 4 incident that had Bastain cartwheeling down the front stretch.
Oh, I did go back and give it a quick count. I think it was 9 flips before he came to a rest.
See, that is why you are the master color commentator.
But yeah, Jesper Orman, prodigious pace today. The fact that there are only 6 cars on the lead lap is a massive accomplishment.
And he should be able to make it to the end. He went 48 on his last stint. He's now 40 into this stint, and that should bring him, if this stint equals the last stint, that will bring him to the checkered flag. So he is currently in a little bit of traffic at the moment, right behind Brandon Thayer. This is where team orders might come in. Brandon, block a little bit, would you? That's not really helping too many from the Altena Autosport squad, because IAR cars are 1 and 2. There's Murph. And then Team Power Slide, I believe, although he's still in his old, and he's in a battle here with Julian on fresher tires. Julian's going to get around him. Ike doesn't appear to have to stop. In fact, I think everybody in the top 6 are done. They don't have to stop anymore. So those that are on the lead lap are going to stay on the lead lap. But go ahead.
Manage what you got.
Yeah.
Fight to the end.
But Ike in that, still in his team talent. Oh, Donskoy. He is
up into the turn 4 wall.
And he's been up there all day. You live by the sword, you die by the sword, and he is missing a right front wing plane. And that is going to impact how his car turns and handles. And Jordan Evans might have a shot at him. We'll see if he can run him down in about 4 laps. Donskoy to the inside. Evans is there. There's 2 cars back. Here goes Ike. Evans getting a good run on him. Oh, in the wall. Smacks it hard. And that he gave up the position. He had to give up the position, so move up. I think it's Evans up a position. I could be wrong. Anyways, back to the front. With that little bit of drama out of the way. I don't think that was Evans. That might have been Thayer that was next in line. A little zoomed out look here. Down the backstretch one more time. Looking for the white flag, this time by easy through 1 and 2 down the backstretch. Just following it there, doing a little bit of a victory weave down the backstretch. In the 3, keeping it in the second groove, off of 4 cleanly, and another win for IAR to start off the season here in the IndyCar Championship. Jesper Orman, A dominating performance.
That is one way to open the year.
Here are your final results. Jesper Orman, the win. Teammate Mark Murphy, P2. So a 1-2 for IARs. They're going to come for a photo moment at the front stretch here at Homestead, Miami. Andreas Eich, in his first start in the series for Power Slide, P3. Gary Lovern, great finish for Gary Lovern. In fact, he is the lead AA car here. Great finish for him. Maybe the green change from the green was a good luck change for him. To the red, Lovern, P4, top 5 in the start of the season 12 here in the IndyCar Series. Moving on, Matthias Kraus is 5th. Cody Meadows, 6th. Those are the remaining only cars on the lead lap there at the end. O'Sullivan and Altena on a slightly different strategy, finished 1 lap down in 7th and 8th. Forsyth and Rizza with a great finish for Rizza. He finishes at the top 10. Very quiet day for him, but a great day to start the season off. Finishes in P10. Moving on, Christensen 11th, Thayer 12th, Inch 13th. So AA cars 11th, 12th, and 13th there. Evans 14th, Donskoy 15th, Wade 16th, Fields 17th, Kurnow 18th, Van Velde 19th, Kinder in 20th. Strauss in 21st, Bostaine, the cartwheel master, in 22nd, Boney in 23rd, and Doshinko in 24th. Bring up that first page again. Ike finished 3rd. All right, so good finish for him. I'm gonna queue up the replays, and I'm only seeing practice sessions for some reason, so we'll go really slow on the replay speed then. And we'll get into the interview room. All right. This is where I wish I had a producer, because they could queue all this stuff up.
Right now.
They could queue this stuff up for me, and then I would have just go to the interview room. All right. I don't see Ike in the interview room. That's okay. We will bring up the Murph then. There he is. Here's the Murph. No Ike today, so we go right to you. Great 1-2 finish for your team. Again, man, love the paint job. I think you made the right choice on this one, but you guys were kind of all up at the top of the field all race long. There was really kind of no doubt about it once you guys broke out ahead that it was going to be a good day for IAR.
Yeah, it really was. Jesper called that just about perfect, and we had kind of some disagreement whether we're going to take tires or not take tires on the final caution stop, and I kind of talked it. We kind of talked each other into taking tires, and that turned out to be the right move. And then I I didn't realize that everybody was going full fuel. Like I was saving gas the whole race, and then being able to run that extra lap over those extra 2 laps over Jesper and an extra lap over Andreas was key at the end. Jesper caught the traffic just right, or I think we might have got to him, but heck of a win for him. Good one too for the team. And anytime you can finish on the top 2 steps, you're doing something right.
Let's talk about go ahead. Go right ahead.
Yeah, what are you guys thinking about? Well, the rest of the year. Now that you solidified a good start to the season.
It's I'm probably looking forward to the ovals more than I am the road courses. That's for sure. I'm I'm not very good at road course races, but I'm getting better. That's one of the things that Jesper and Seb and Sam and Kevin have really been helping me out with. Rashad is road course pace, and it's I like all the tracks around the schedule. I think next week we go to Texas. Is it, Gary? Tejas,
yes.
Yeah. So Gary knows my long and well documented affair with Texas. I love that track.
So does Jesper, though.
I know. Well, and it's 2 very different approaches. You'll usually see him right on the white line at Texas.
Yeah.
And you'll usually find me somewhere about 3 inches away from the wall. So, and we're both we both love the place, but it's, it's 2 very differing philosophies. And we kind of talked about our differing philosophies in driving the car today. And, I learned a lot from him, and maybe he learned something from me today too, but overall just tickled to be second and, keep finishing on a podium and keep running up front. Good things happen, Gary.
My follow-up question to you for your debate on whether to take new tires or not. I mean, the track temperature was fairly warm all day today. I think taking tires, especially if you had them, and we've talked about this before and other coverage, really, if you need more than 5 seconds worth of fuel, that's enough time to put on new set of tires. Would coming out on used tires and just going fuel only with maybe the limited amount of time saved, would that be given up on the racetrack based upon how much slower old tires are compared to new tires when people come out of the pits with fresh gear?
Yeah, it was worth about a second a lap at the end of the stint. The other thing is, when you got in traffic on old tires, you were essentially dead meat. I think we saw that with Julian and Yaroslav. I did it. If you were in traffic on old tires and everybody else around you had stickers, you were going straight to the back. And so I thought it was kind of a no-brainer to take them. The setup really didn't abuse the tread life so much. So the tread was still good, but this track, just by its very nature, heats up the right rear pretty bad, and you really got to be on top of the tools. And I know Jesper was fighting a loose condition a little bit more than I was, probably down to driver preference and how we attack the corner. But I found it really comfortable. It was really free. There were times where I looked down at my hands in the middle of the corner and I wasn't hardly turning the wheel. So it was definitely loose, but you needed the tires, not just for speed, but for traffic. I mean, if you were on old tires and you were in traffic, you saw, Liam and Julian just drive by me like I was hauling a boat.
Right.
Because once I got dirty air, it was done. So, oh well, like I said, fun to be up here, fun to be on a podium, fun to be racing with Jesper, and just keep finishing on the podium, and good things will happen, man.
Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I gotta wish Mr. Murphy, that's my dad, a belated happy birthday. He turned 13 last week, and so happy birthday to him. I know he's at home watching. Shout out to Jesper and all the boys at IAR. Good run for the team. 1-2 here. Shame Seb had to miss it. I think he's off running the 6 hours. So, I hope them guys are having good luck over there. And thanks for everything the team does. I got to thank Black Magic Designs. If you want to paint like that one, it's worth 2 tints. Go talk to Andy Dunwoody. Admin box, race control at the touch of a button, and a soon to be named YouTube network. I'll leave it at that.
Well, and soon to be named YouTube network needs some liveries done. So maybe we could talk to Black Magic. So
Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations on the P2, man. Good to see you on the podium yet here again, and a great way to start off the season.
Heck yeah. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Gary. Y'all have a good night here.
Yeah, you got it. And let's bring up Jesper here. Hey, Jesper, got you here in the booth with Gary and Ryan. Congratulations, man. Sure made short work. Once you got up to the front and got ahead of all these guys, you made short work of it and dominated really the second half of this race. Really, I guess the biggest question came down to you and your teammate, whether or not on that last stop to go with new tires or not. And I think your teammate wisely talked you into going with new tires.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I wouldn't call it, I wouldn't call it making short work of the guys. But it was a tough race. I would say the setup was very loose. It is true that Mark and I discussed whether we were going to take those new tires with 100 to go, and we decided to, and it turned out to be the right call. I wanted the track position. I said, like, I'm probably not going to take tires. He was like, you definitely should. And yeah, sometimes you just need to listen to your teammates because yeah, and but it was a great race. I got lucky there in the end because I kind of didn't go long enough on that middle stint. I had to save tons of fuel there, and I got lucky with the traffic, so I could stay behind lap cars. Otherwise, Mark would have. He would definitely have caught me there and passed me because he was like, I think 3 laps longer. So he did a great job.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, because we talked about this with Mark. Starting off the year as the points leader, to use motocross terms, you had the red plate. What are you thinking about for next week in Texas?
Well, all I can say is that these guys should have not have let me win here because this is looking at the schedule. Looking at the schedule, this is probably my weakest track, I would say. And next week is Texas. Okay, this week was not making short work of the guys, but next week they're gonna have to work really hard if they want to keep up with me. So I'm looking forward to Texas a lot, and this season a lot. This season I'm gonna try to maximize every race, try to maximize points, and to run away with it as fast as I can. I mean, I know I have the skills to do it, but it's just a matter of executing.
Yeah, I was telling Mark, Mark's like, I'm real good at Texas. I go, but I think Jesper's really good at Texas too. And it's possible that you go back to back to start this off. But then again, if we thought that was the case, that we'd run every race on cardboard because you'd win it on paper. But that's why we have to run the race to see if you actually do get that win, because you never know what happens. But I've spotted for you before at Texas. I know what you could do at Texas, and I think everyone will have their hands full next week. Real quick, thank you for returning back to the back home again in the INDYCAR. That other one that you were driving just didn't work for you. The Indiana themed one. When I expect to see Jesper Orman on the grid, I expect to see Jesper Orman in that livery. So thank you for bringing that back. But allow you an opportunity to now get some thank yous, shout outs, friends, family, sponsors. Go right ahead.
I definitely agree. It feels really good to be back, not home again in Indiana, but back in that livery. Definitely. It feels like it's me, So you'll probably see something like that, or something very similar for a long time. So, but yeah, I mean, shout out to my teammate Mark. Great start of the season, P1, P2, and also I mean, it's a tough thing to talk about, but Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine has been ongoing now for 2.5 years. Just want to I know that those guys at the front and those people in Ukraine have a really, really tough time they're going through. My girlfriend is also Ukrainian, so yeah, it's tough times, and I hope that we'll support Ukraine all the way to victory.
All right, you got it. Congratulations on the win. Started off the season strong, going to a place where we know you're already strong next week. Kind of hinted at. Better not let them win this week, because next week it's going to look like maybe a slightly different story in terms of how many laps that Jesper's going to lead. So we'll see. Congratulations on this week, though. We will see you in a week, sir. And I'm sure we'll be talking before then. Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Ryan.
And the whole thing on when just keep in mind, for people in Europe, we're so far removed from some of the conflicts in Europe that Ukraine is for what would be for us be a couple states away from some of these countries. So keep in mind that's always first and foremost in their mind when these world events happen. What might be happening in the next country over for them, distance-wise, might be the next state over for us here in relative comparison. So just keep that in mind when he brings that stuff up. It hits closer to home over there than it does kind of over here when we kind of see it on the news. That said, sir, Ryder King, it's been a pleasure to have you in the booth again, and we're going to do this all season long, just not pinch-hitting duties like that we did in Dark Horse, but it's good to have you here. We get to talk about the news now all the time in the middle of these races, and I think we saw a decent race today. We saw a couple yellow flags, but once the field got stretched out and thinned out a little bit, it turned into a really big struggle in the mid-pack, but those that had the pace up front kind of ran away and hid with the thing.
Yeah, and normally, if you're fast on one oval, you tend to be fast on most of them.
Right.
And it's always a good way. Like season opener, I always hate making predictions. I always like to sit back, try to figure out what the running order is, and gauge who's going to improve week in and week out, and who might slip back down the order.
Well, next week is Texas. That will be covered by the FTN crew. They will be covering the next three races as they all coincide with my coverage of the IIS. And then after that, we'll pick it back up and we'll bring up the schedule one more time here. Let you know for the next three races. Texas, Road America, Iowa, they'll be on covered by the FTN crew. It'll still be here on VOR. It'll just be the FTN crew. Bringing you to the presentation, and then Ryan and I will be back for Gateway August 3rd. So we got a little bit of a break before we talk to each other next, but I guess I will see you next 4 hours down the road from me here in St. Louis.
Yeah, Gateway, it's always a fun track, especially in these cars.
Yes, that's one reason why they keep returning in real life. These cars race so well there. All right, I think that's going to do it here. Denver really got into the INDYCAR records and all that stuff. We got right into the race, and it was really a good race. So that's going to do it. Your podium from Homestead is Jesper Orman with the win. Yeah, Mark Murphy, his teammate P2, and Andreas Eich. First start in the series, a P3. Join the FTN guys next week for round 2 of season 12 of the VOR INDYCAR Dallara IRT Championship Series. As the teams and drivers head to Texas for the Texas 300. Coverage will start approximately at 3 p.m. Eastern. Again, that's 3:00 p.m. Eastern. As always, for the correct time in your area, you can find everything right here at youtube.com/Velocity Online Racing. Again, that's going to be David Kreutz and the guys at FTN. They will be bringing you the action next week and for the next 3 races starting next week. They will be covering the action. So now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game's not easy. Please help support us with the weekly grind. Not quite a weekly grind, but we're going to have weekly races here on VOR. So make sure the best way to support us with the effort is giving us the old thumbs up. And if you thought today, you've liked today's race, and everybody that participated in chat, leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of today's race. We would appreciate it. And if you enjoyed today's coverage, again, smash like. That's the best way to support us in a passive way. In a more active way to support us, if you're new, click subscribe. Or while you had it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out more of Velocity Online Racing's other iRacing programming, including from their IRO5 Champ Car Series and their DW12 Iconic Series. Those will be running weekly in conjunction with the IR18s. Track cams for this race provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with the Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook or follow them on Twitter. The links are in the description. For business inquiries to learn more about what they do here at Velocity Online Racing, visit velocityonlineracing.com, like them on Facebook or follow them on Twitter. So for Ryan Eric King, everyone at Velocity Online Racing, I'm Gary Gotzo saying all, happy Saturday. Now we can go and watch either 100 Days to Indy or I'm going to go watch Clash of the Castle.
I'll be heading back to the 24 hours.
You're doing the 24 hours. That's right, Le Mans. Well, I hope you have fun with that coverage. But thanks, everybody, for watching. And to all the men and women serving in the military and their first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here next week at Texas for the next race of the VOR INDYCAR IR18 Championship Series. See ya.